Hello, welcome to this special edition of Crypto G's. I have a very special guest today.
Join a company
that you are the person that
Bring in good energy.
So,
Welcome to Crypto OGs. Is Irina Heaver. How are you, Irina? How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for having me.
So I say to everybody, this is a special edition because there's a lot of stuff happening right now global with regulations. But before starting to talk about regulation, compliance, laws, let's start to talk about Irina. Who is Irina?
Hi, Irina Heaver. Very nice to meet everyone. I'm a crypto lawyer based in Dubai and Switzerland, and I've been advising governments, entrepreneurs, and investors in crypto full time since 2016.
Amazing. So yeah, you're a crypto Web3 and digital asset lawyer as well. You advise, you just mentioned governments, entrepreneurs, companies. Tell us a little bit about the combination of all these hats that you wear.
It's just one hat, being a lawyer. I'm absolutely loving what I do. I've been a lawyer before crypto. Before crypto, I was working in oil and gas industry. I was general counsel for the largest shipping group. I came to Dubai to work for national oil and gas companies, and I love being a lawyer. I think I'm a pretty good lawyer. And when I discovered Bitcoin, I realized that I don't want to work for a corporation anymore. I do not want to sit through the boring board meeting ever again. I want to work with inspirational, awesome people who are changing this financial system, because let's be honest, our financial system is broken. It's so broken, it's so corrupt, it only serves very small group of people. And that's why in 2016 I made a choice to leave the corporate world and support entrepreneurs and investors full time, because you cannot have entrepreneurs without investors. And also I do a lot of work with governments and government. Not have a very active entrepreneurship system without good government supporting the entrepreneurs, without good regulations fostering the entrepreneurship ecosystem. It's all come hand in hand.
Amazing, Irina. So I have a little bit of record. Let me see. Let's see there. Way better. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody, just listening and watching this. So, Irina, that's amazing. Look, I have so many friends that are lawyers and they moved to Web3 and crypto, but we never have the opportunity to talk to somebody that is there talking to people across the globe. We've seen you traveling to different countries, to different summits. So, but what inspired you to move? You said that you didn't want to be in an office and you want to just follow people that are changing the world. But what was the number one? What was that moment that inspired you to say, you know what, I'm going to go all in with crypto. I'm going to help people with the low part of cryptocurrencies and Web3.
Bitcoin, I converted into hardcore Bitcoin maxi very early in my journey. I come from a country which stole every penny from my family. They basically had to run from for their lives, and they couldn't take anything with them because the country was destroyed, the currency was destroyed, and it wasn't just my family. So it's not like we're somehow special. 200 million people were in the same situation. So it was a very traumatic time, because I remember my mom was struggling to put food on the table. My dad, was struggling to look after the family. So that was such a traumatic experience, realizing that a government can take everything away from you. So when I really understood what Bitcoin is, I really love that part, unconfiscatable. It's yours. As long as you keep your keys private, as long as you keep it secure, it's yours. Government cannot come and take it away from you. A bad guy cannot come take it away from you. And there was no way I could go back, right? Like once it clicks in your head what Bitcoin is and what it can do for humanity, there's no way going back. Also, we're quite lucky, right? Living in Dubai, we have credit cards, we have good banking system, we have the freedom to go outside, and we have the freedom to sort of, and the possibility to educate our children, to put food on the table. But there's billions of people around the world, they don't have the freedom to say what they want. They don't have the freedom they don't have financial freedom, economical freedom. They need Bitcoin more than we do. Millions of people now are affected by war in Europe, running away from bombs being thrown at them, trying to protect their kids. So people like this need Bitcoin more than we do. That's why, for me, there was no going back. There was absolutely no going back to corporate world. There's no going back to doing anything. I mean, I was very lucky to be very early in the space, so theoretically, I don't need to work. I can just chill. But what am I gonna do, right? We all came to this planet, hopefully, to make a little bit of a difference, hopefully to make this planet a little bit better. And I'm dedicating myself to work on Bitcoin and a wider crypto space. Because not everybody is a Bitcoin maxi, which is okay. I am for myself, but others have wider interests, and I'm here to help them with their journey as well.
So, Irina, that has been an amazing journey, and I can see how passionate and motivated. And yeah, you're authentic crypto maxi. We just were talking out the record. Like, I know you've been all day in meetings today. It's 7:30 p.m. in the evening, and I bet you've been working all day. But there's a lot of stuff happening right now because, as you say, Dubai is very good for people that want to get into crypto. We've seen so many companies, entrepreneurs, content creators, traders moving to Dubai. So when a city adopts new culture or new technology or new people, obviously, like any culture in the world or any civilization, there's people that want to do good and there's people that are not planning to do that good, right? So since you are also a digital asset lawyer, let's talk about the topic that's really hot right now in crypto regulation. Yeah, so Dubai had the Vara entity, put together last year. If I know mistake, they put it together last year. The whole organization of Vara, but this year, well, this month, this week, they went really like hardcore. Let's say like that. They say we want to do this for more and more people, and anybody wants to come to Dubai and start to promote tokens or crypto assets, you need to go through this. So what do you think is happening right now, with the new regulations? So the people are going to be able to carry promotions, and they need to have their bar license. So
Okay,
explain let's start with the basics.
Let's start from the beginning. So UAE is indeed has taken upon themselves to be the leader when it comes to crypto businesses. Dubai announced a metaverse policy. For example, ADGM arbitration courts have already established a metaverse platform where you can arbitrate in metaverse. So, for example, one entrepreneur sits in Spain, another entrepreneur sits in North America, and the arbitrator, myself, I'm an ADGM, arbitrating the disputes. And it's a very, very good thing. Alternative dispute resolution, it's amazing for entrepreneurs. So yes, UAE is positioning themselves as the leader in the space, and I love it. Dubai has been my home for the last 15 years. I'm a proud Dubaian, as I like to call myself. I identify as an Arab. So it's amazing what's happening. And yes, you're right. Every time a country or a city, let's say, so Dubai is an emirate within the UAE, but also Dubai is I call it a city state, like Singapore. It has its own laws and regulations, its own government, its own ruler, right? So it's like a little country of its own, although it's within the federation of the UAE. So whenever we talk about laws and regulations, we need to talk about federal laws, which applies to everyone within the UAE, but also local Dubai laws, which apply to people working and operating in the UAE. So every time a city or a state or a country opens up to new technology, what happens? Bad people move in because they want to take advantage of this new space. They want to show you the amazing new coin which will make 600x. And unfortunately, bad apples have infiltrated our industry very well. You know it, I know it, we all know it. The scammers on every corner pumping their shit coins. Can I say shit coins here? And being not honest people in the industry, which is very, very sad. So Dubai has struggled with that for a while, especially during COVID, where the world shut down. Dubai stayed open. So a lot of crypto conferences were taking place here. And what happens at crypto conferences? Every scammer from every part of the world travels, talks about their coins, which actually end up being a rug pull, etc., etc. So last year, Dubai established first in the world a regulatory authority that only focuses on crypto assets, virtual assets, whatever you want to call it. They call it virtual assets. So it's called Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, VARA. It got established last year in March, and they've been working since then very hard with a lot of input from the industry. So it's not like they were imagining the regulations in isolation by themselves. They had a lot of input from the industry. They talked to a lot of people. And literally on the 7th, so 2 days ago, they published, they call it full market regulations. And it's really full. It's 600 plus pages. It's maybe a little bit too much, but it is what it is. So there are 4 books, as they call it, on mandatory for everyone. And there are specific provisions. If you're running an exchange, here's the exchange provision. If you're running an advisory, here's advisory provisions. And there are 7 of them, depending which vertical within the industry you're planning to occupy. I had reviewed the regulations. The articles actually got published. You can Google and read like the first review of 600 pages. If you don't have the time to read 600 pages, read the summary. But my initial reaction, it is a little bit too much. It is a little bit too burdensome. But also, there is a reason why they went so hardcore. Again, we talked about the bad apples. We talked about FTX. Like we all remember FTX. We all remember, Celsius and a few other really bad apples in the industry that basically, Bitcoin was performing so well last year, and then all this bad apple after a bad apple happening, then we discover FTX was actually a criminal enterprise running a Ponzi scheme. I mean, just ridiculous. So yes, the rules went a little bit hardcore, but this is probably what the industry need. We need to be slapped a little bit because we allowed for this to happen. And one of the things that I always advocate for is the following. We can give the regulators hard time. I litigated against SEC in my previous career. I litigated against DOJ. So I would be the first one giving regulators hard time. I'll be the first one telling you that they don't understand what's happening in the industry, which is correct. They're not the crypto specialists. They're not, hardcore crypto maxis, right? They are financial regulators. So they regulate the entire industry. Or in case of SEC, they regulate the entire world because they decided to be the policemen of the world. But that's the different story. So the financial regulators need our help as well as an industry. But I also believe, and I advocate, and to anybody who would listen, that we need to have our internal industry self-regulatory authority, because you and I know who the scammers are. You and I know who is running some dodgy rug pulls. So if we all get together and we destroy these people from within, we don't let them thrive, I think that would be great as well. So that is what
Yeah. So you're probably getting a lot of notification, people trying to get to you to ask you about what is happening. It's funny, Irina. So it's very interesting what you're saying. Just going back a little bit about what you start to say about how Dubai obviously became the hub, and so many people start to come to events. That happened to me. Like when I start to go to many events last year, because I was new. You don't know many people, and the thing I start to see a pattern of people that go to events that are not, like, let's say, legit, right? Like they're just either impersonating, or they are either no fulfilling the promise of what the products or services are promoting. So in terms of like rock calls scammers. So start to notice the pattern. But I also saw this year that because of the FTX scandal, and it obviously collapsed the whole market, and it was really bad for all of us, let's say like that. But after that, people start to pay more attention, right? People start to be more uh, active, people are more cautious, more careful about what projects to invest, who to hang around with, what events to go. So yeah, I think so. The whole industry, especially in Dubai, start to realize that if we put a standard for even events, it will be good. So I agree with you. For me, I start to see now. We see the people that used to go to events that they didn't come up very authentic. They're not going to the events anymore. So people that have real projects, real utility, people that have good intentions are the people that are going to the events and are keep pushing and keep building in this market that we have now. That is not the best, but it's the best market to build, right? So yeah, I agree with you. And now what do you think will happen to Dubai then right now? So of course this laws are going to increase, right? But do you think the regulation will hinder the growth for Dubai in terms of people coming, or
Oh, for sure.
how will happen?
For sure, I predict that those regulations will deter, especially startups, because the fees are quite heavy. They're not heavy if you're an established business; they're actually okay in comparison. But if you're a startup, the fees are a little bit heavy. So, and I also hope that these regulations will deter the scammers, because there's really heavy fines for marketing shitcoins if you're not registered with a regulator. And if you're a scammer, you're not going to go and get registered, right? That's the opposite of what a scammer would be doing, right? So I'm kind of I see a bit of a slowdown, but it's okay. I mean, we should not be running at 600 miles an hour speed, right? It's good to build gradually. It's good to build steadily, because when once you go all crazy, we have FTX happens, and other sort of naughty situations happen. So regulations is a good thing, but we need to be careful, because the regulations have to be good regulations. I absolutely love what Switzerland did in 2019. They issued principles-based regulations. So they did not
Mhm.
prescribe everything on 600 pages, what to do, how to do, when to do. They said, these are the principles. This is what we want you to follow. This is what guiding this is your shining guiding star, just follow this way. Whereas Dubai went the opposite way. There's a prescription for everything on 600 plus pages, and let's see what will work, right? And again, VAR is a new authority. They will learn from the market. Okay, the fees may be a little bit too high. Let's bring them down. Okay, this provision is maybe a little bit too onerous. Let's remove that. Because the regulator is there to also apply the regulations in a way which is fair and reasonable. And let's not forget, Dubai has the spirit of entrepreneurship, right? An Arab person is an entrepreneur in his or her DNA. They've been trading with, the UAE has been trading with India and Asia and Africa before in the last 400 years. So entrepreneurship is the spirit. I call it in the DNA of Arabs. So, and I fully believe that these regulations will be applied with the spirit of entrepreneurship, with the spirit of promoting business, with the spirit of fostering the community. Because you know what? It's been really good for Dubai. All these new people coming in has been really good for Dubai. All these new people, they come, they bring jobs, they bring their families, the families create jobs for restaurants, for schools. It becomes this crypto industry became a huge employer and became a huge sort of wealth generation, not just for the people who are in crypto, but people who work around, marketing agency, right? Law firms, accounting firms, and it's good, prosperity and business is good for everyone.
So that's a good topic that you just mentioned. So because obviously there's regulations right now. Obviously the main concern for UAE and I think so global is obviously for the people that provide services like trading platform, right? Let's say crypto trading platform. So, and I noticed a couple of my friends that work in these trading companies. I won't say which one. Some of them they have the license already, the full license, and the other one they have provisional license. But that's, as you say, the big companies they will fine because they have compliance teams, lawyers, they have money to invest in the license, right? So, but what about people like, okay, people that are getting started or startups is good because they will need to make more money, let's say like that, or they need to raise more capital, so they're more serious, they call it like that. But what about for other entities that you just said, like marketing agencies? I think lawyers they don't need a license. I just read that because you are lawyers, of course. But marketing agencies, people that
Yeah,
provide.
so the lawyers lobbied that the lawyers are not included. Very smart, very
Very
clever one.
smart. I like it. But what about for
So,
people that provide service around the ecosystem?
mhm. That's a very good point. There's a lot of really bad service providers. A lot of really bad.
Mm.
I mean, the amount of complaints I receive, people whinging about this guy and this guy and this guy, it's really bad. So, yes, there is a provision for advisory services licensing. From the 600 pages that I read, there was the least part that I was paying attention to. I read, lawyers are not licensed. And I was like, okay, good, moving on. So I don't have the exact answer, and I do not like to be speculating. I like to read the letter of the law and then tell you what it is. So, but yes, there is a provision that these people, this type of businesses are licensed as well with VARA, which is good because we cannot have everybody calling themselves a crypto expert, which is happening right now. I mean, would you go to a dentist who is not properly registered, licensed, and regulated? Of course not, because you want your teeth to be there. Would you go to a financial advisor which will advise you and manage your money who's not properly licensed and regulated? Of course not. So why should not the same apply to crypto? That's only logical. And the licensing fees there are much lower. It's about 40,000 dirhams, I think, from top of my head. So it's reasonable. It's absolutely reasonable, and it's absolutely reasonable that we have advisors. I've regulated. I'm an attorney. I'm a regulated professional. My law firm is regulated. It's an additional burden. It's an additional burden, and it's an additional cost. But you don't want to go to a lawyer who is actually not a lawyer, right? You want to make sure that you receive proper advice from proper people. So I think the same should apply for people working in the crypto.
Amazing, Irina. So thank you so much for sharing this. And okay, so probably you're getting a lot of requests and questions. So what are the most common questions that you get from people that are under the process of registering in Dubai, or what advice do they mostly seek right now?
That's a good question. There's a lot of projects wanting to move to the UAE. They read a newspaper article and it's like, okay, we have to move to the UAE. No. Shway shway, as we say, right? Research your market, understand. If you're trying to move here because you're gonna evade the regulations in your own country, that train has gone, right? Our regulations are probably even stricter than the regulations in your country. Yes, we have a great weather. Yes, we have very safe country. You leave your handbag, you go do things, come back, and 2 days later it's still there, which is amazing because where in Europe can you do that? In Switzerland, probably that's the only place. Where else? Nowhere. You're even holding your bag, and then the second you blink, it's gone. So it's very safe. It's very good for kids. Very good for families. And let's not forget, we're tax free. Zero personal income taxes, zero corporate taxes. This will change in the summer for onshore entities. So if you structure in a smart way, you will still enjoy zero taxes, but you have to structure in a smart way, not in a stupid way. So yes, a lot of projects are looking to move here, but not only projects, entrepreneurs as well, wealthy individuals. You've made some money in your country, you want to enjoy the fruits of your hard labor, or maybe not so hard labor because you bought Bitcoin but you hodled. It's hard to hodl as well. So and people like this, investors like this, like to move to Dubai, buy a nice place on the beach, and enjoy awesome food and restaurants. So a lot of inquiries like this, which we're helping people with. But also everything needs to be done with planning and with like smart foresight. So don't do anything hasty. Today I was talking to a group of entrepreneurs out of Poland. They all picked up their bags and they were moving to Dubai. I was like, hold on a second. And they were planning to issue tokens out of Dubai. I was like, okay, well, that's something you cannot be doing without all the proper licensing. That's why before you start doing something, seek advice, understand if it's even feasible what you're planning to do. Because if you're running an exchange or if you're just planning to be an investor, there's a bit of a difference, right? And it's a very heavy difference. So you have to think and plan ahead of time. And if you structure things properly, you can really enjoy all the benefits that the UAE has to offer. Amazing weather, amazing life, safe country, and zero taxes.
Amazing, Irina. So I hope everybody's paying attention and writing some notes, especially you're moving, thinking to relocate to Dubai and you're thinking to launch your project or your tokens or yeah, it has to be about everything Web3, right? Even if you're launching an NFT or anything that has digital assets attached to it, you will have to start to comply with that. Irina, but how fast is this moving? For example, if somebody's already there in Dubai, right, ready to launch their project, um, do we have? And they say they have to apply for the license. Let's say they want to launch their project in March, right? And they have everything ready. Do they have to wait to get the license first, or they launch and they get a provisional license? It's like the people that's in between, right? People that's already there, but they were not preparing to apply for the license. But now, how fast is the VARA entity is going to act to give license? Yeah,
Ima-
yeah.
Imagine, so they only published it. They only published it when 2 days ago. So it doesn't mean that if you are in the middle of your project, then you have to pack up and leave. Absolutely not. There's ways to mitigate the risk. There's ways to structure things properly. So let's consider this before doing anything. If you're already on the ground, talk to your trusted advisor, email Vara, ask for the advice, and also apply. Why not? I mean, it doesn't cost anything to apply, right? And then once you start going through the process, then you can assess, is it still the right thing for me, or do I move to Abu Dhabi? Because the Abu Dhabi has a different legal regime, right? There is a thing called jurisdictional arbitrage. You basically compare jurisdictions and then pick the one which is best for you, for your project, for your circumstances, for your what you're planning to do. So jurisdictional arbitrage is a very, very useful thing. Practice it heavily, but seek advice from your trusted advisors.
Okay, Irina. That being said, Dubai is full of people coming for two events, right? So normally, I remember March full of events. There are probably 50 events in March and 50 events in October. So what are people that are planning to run events in March? They already have the speaker lined up. They have everything lined up ready. Do they need to apply for the license right now, or they'll be all right for now without having the license?
So the events company are not required to apply for licenses.
Okay.
I have not seen that such a provision that they're an events company because it's informational, right?
Mm-hmm.
What companies presenting at the events cannot do, they cannot shill their tokens if their token is not registered with Vara, which no token is registered with Vara. So basically, you cannot shill your tokens. So you can talk about your project, you can talk about how amazing you are, you can talk about the technology, but you cannot shill, you cannot
Mm.
sell your tokens, you cannot raise funds. You have to be very smart about it. And it's not just the Dubai law; it's anywhere in the world. I cannot go around the street in New York collecting money from grandmas. I cannot do that in Australia. I cannot do it in Europe. Why should I be able to do that in the UAE? Fair is fair, right? So we're not doing anything which is unusual. That is why. So it's the projects that are coming to this event. They need to be mindful that they do not break marketing laws, meaning don't shill your token. Talk about your project, talk about the technology, absolutely fine. But stop at now. Give me the money. So that's the way you
Mm.
the way you don't do.
That's a very good way to also to make sure the governments and the people, the community, in general terms, the population get protected well. Because yeah, we have all of this bull market last year, and there were so many rug pulls, not only with normal tokens, also with NFTs. So I think is a good time that everybody start to understand how serious this is. Yeah, no more shilling. If you want to create awareness, build a community, and if they is their decision to buy, it's because they believe in you, not because you are telling them to buy. And Irina, Dubai is full of key opinion leaders for crypto. Many of us, including myself, we're relocating to Dubai because
Mhm.
what you just said, right? And it's safer. Obviously, it's not. You cannot say, "Look, I'm in crypto," and you're living in the middle of Madrid, and someone of my friend they have expensive watches and cars. So people forgot that and they moved to Dubai because it's safer, right? But now, what about the laws for the content creators, marketing agencies,
Mhm.
people that are running campaigns, branding, etc., around this? Are they going to apply it for them as well?
So, content creators, especially famous content creators like yourself with a lot of following, with a lot of respect, have to be 10 times more careful,
Hmm.
and not because of Vara, not because of that, because Vara applies for Dubai. Just move to Abu Dhabi, forget about Vara. You're sort of free, right? I think content creators, famous YouTubers need to be influencers on social media have to be very careful because of the SEC. The SEC has announced an open hunt season on influencers. Because it's easy, right?
Yeah.
And also if Kim Kardashian gets a fine, it gets the headline news. SBF, they still were writing just a few months ago. Oh my God, he's such a good guy. We love him. He just made mistakes, right? Awful, pathetic, absolutely horrible what media was doing. But if Kim K gets a fine, oh look at the SEC doing such a good job protecting the public. Very double standards, and you know why? Because they're latching on to their fame, they're latching on their publicity. For example, there's a few really big YouTubers living in Dubai. Some of them are my clients, so we're now really reviewing the things they're saying. We're really reviewing things that they're doing because they have to be forget about the local regulators. It's the SEC you need to be careful about because you fly to Bitcoin Miami, and then if somebody meets you at the airport, and then you'll never be able to fly again, right? Until you settle, until you pay those multi-million-dollar fines. So if I were a YouTube creator, a famous influential person on social media, I'll think twice about shilling anything. I'll think twice about my strategy, about how I promote a product. Maybe don't promote a product anymore. Maybe take sponsors for your show. So definitely talk to a lawyer because promotion of financial products is a very regulated area because you do not want every grandma on the street to put in their last pension money into that and lose their their last pension money. So as a famous creator like yourself, you have to really look into what you're doing, who are you doing with, which people you are aligning. For example, I have stopped taking any pictures with anyone at the conferences, although I really like people. I really like when people come up and ask me questions, because the last thing you know, this picture is on their white paper, and apparently I'm their lawyer providing legal support for their project. And people understand, okay, Irina, she's an experienced crypto lawyer. If she's providing support for this project, meaning this project is okay. No, I don't know who these people are. They ask me for a picture. Same with you. Is your image, is your name being used in a way that you do not approve, or that you've never approved? Unfortunately, in this digital day and age, there's more reliance on your digital presence than on your physical presence, right? I go to an event, I speak on a stage, there's 200 people in the audience, but I post something on social media and 100,000 people saw that, right? So digital is now so much bigger than real life. So we all have to be careful, especially, known and respected people with a large audience like yourself need to be even more so careful.
Thank you so much, Irina. And I hope everybody, all my people that I know that are creating content every day for Web3 and crypto are listening, because this is something that we have to take very seriously. In a note, I've been in crypto for 6 years, but it just was like the last 18 months when I start to become a KOL, because I was in the back end, right? And I never shared any project. And it's funny because at home, the only person that had bought Bitcoin is my mother-in-law, but she saw it and she bought it like 3 years ago, so I'm quite safe in that part. But in a serious note, we have to be careful, because it's not only our reputation, the whole industry reputation. And I think so people especially the big corporation, the big Web3 companies, they're paying attention now into the content creator, and they want more well-established people, like people that have team behind, people that understand the long-term partnerships with brands, not only to make quick money because the markets here is booming, not because we want to change the whole industry through education, awareness, and obviously with good products and services. But there is a question that I have for you, and that's what I say bad, because obviously in 2008, when Satoshi started, he wasn't thinking about regulations. He was just thinking about massive adoption. And we want everybody to use Bitcoin, and especially me. I'm from Colombia, and I want everybody in South America to use cryptocurrency. So especially people that live in Europe or US send money remittances to Colombia, so they don't have to spend money in these banks or Western Union, whatever, because that happened to you, right? But to get to this mass adoption, do you think the mass adoption of crypto has been much slower since the time the regulation are going to come harder, or is going to get in the middle? What do you think?
So let's break it down again. There's so many questions there. Let's break it down one by one. So Bitcoin, you cannot regulate Bitcoin. Those days are gone, right? This peer-to-peer, the true peer-to-peer. I'm sending you Bitcoin for the services that you will perform, or I'm remitting Bitcoin to my mom in Australia, so I don't use the banking system, or I'm sending Bitcoin to a refugee who ran away from a country that is being bombed, because I want to help this person and I want to help this family, which is really true peer-to-peer. No government can stop us. No regulator can prevent this from happening, and no regulator can tell us how this to happen. Absolutely impossible. Technologically not possible, physically not possible. And now let's talk about everything else. A centralized exchange, for example, like FTX, selling Bitcoin to people left, right, and center, but in reality they have no Bitcoin. So they were literally, drawing the numbers on your user interface. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm so rich, I have 50 Bitcoin there. No, you've got nothing. You have absolutely nothing. This is all fake, right? So these people need to be regulated. These centralized businesses, where there is an opportunity to scam, to defraud, and to steal from people, These businesses absolutely 100% need to be regulated, but regulated in a smart way. There's a stupid way of doing things and there is a smart way of doing things. I am a proponent for doing things in a smart way. So these people need to be regulated in order to give consumers more security. So if there is a smart regulation, consumers have the confidence to get in, right? How they have the confidence to get engaged in the market. So smart regulation for centralized entities is a good thing for adoption. Stupid regulation is a bad thing for adoption, because then entrepreneurs do not start businesses. If you don't start a business, you cannot onboard people, etc., etc., etc. So it's a knife, right? You have to walk very carefully so you don't fall on one side or another. I Again, being a Bitcoin maxi for myself, I promote everybody to get into Bitcoin, learn about Bitcoin, and then you can venture out. Then venture into Ethereum, understand what it is. Then you can venture into other Web3 projects, gamify, metaverse projects, buy an NFT of the land if you want to. I mean, who am I to tell you how to spend your money, right? But the true Bitcoin peer-to-peer, luckily this cannot be regulated away, and luckily we will not have governments have the ability to meddle. Look, China bans Bitcoin twice a year. Is it stopping Bitcoin? Absolutely not. Every time they ban it, the price goes up, adoption goes up. There's newspaper articles, more people to get in. So, banning Bitcoin by a government is actually a good thing. Now there's countries that got excluded from the financial system by the US. Let's say Iran. They've been under sanctions for 20 years. Very unfair to Iranian people. They're hardworking, they're smart, they're good people. I mean, beautiful country, beautiful people, and they're being made. They're suffering for nothing. So they are adopting crypto like crazy. The reserve currency of Iran, of an individual, is USDT and Bitcoin. They save their hard-earned money in Bitcoin and USDT. I mean, who would have known? But that's what happens when governments collude and exclude you from the financial system. More people go in the alternative options. Look what's happening with Russia. They're now selling their oil for crypto to China and India. Come on. I mean, that's what I call stupid regulations. The more stupidity out there by governments, the more it pushes people for alternative ways, and Bitcoin and stable coins have proven to be alternative ways. People in Colombia, what's happening with and Argentina, what's happening with the local currencies? Destroyed. People in Lebanon, they have to go to a bank with a rifle to rob a bank of their own money. We read this in the newspapers. I mean, what a alternative reality are we living in, where people have to rob the banks for their own money so they can afford to put food on a table for their kids? That is just wrong on every level. Illegal and criminal and immoral, unethical. But that's unfortunately what we do, and that what's happening, what governments are doing to people, to their people. And Lebanese people are smart. They speak 3 languages. They're hardworking, and their government has been letting them down constantly. Same with people in South America. Hardworking families are being let down. So. Crypto is a really good way for people to take autonomy and to take responsibility for their financial and economic life.
It's amazing, I'm getting goosebumps here just looking at you talking about with passion about crypto, and it just made me think about all the cases that has seen in Colombia, Lebanon, the whole country that you have named, Turkey as well. With it's just over the roof, the inflation, and
Mm.
not funny enough, but surprisingly, many of these people, like Lebanese, Latin Americans, people from Russia, Ukraine, Eastern Europe, they move to Dubai because they believe in crypto and they're helping the whole economy or the whole industry from there. So that's the good thing about also Dubai, that there's obviously no good people, but most of the people that are creating good products and services are all in Dubai, and they obviously they're expats like many of us, but they come for certain regions where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it was a must to have because the economy was failing. So Irina, I think so. What we're going to do, I love this session, but I think we will have another one when I come to Dubai. Hopefully, we can meet up in March. But I have
Yeah.
two more questions for you because I know how passionate you are about the technology, but also from the law perspective. You're in a very good position right now, and I congratulate you for this, for all your knowledge and helping not only the regulators, authorities, entrepreneurs to put their pieces together and helping the community as well. But let's talk about other topic that is very hot right now, right? So everybody's talking about AI, right? Artificial intelligence. So we have Chat GPT, VR, AR, all of that, and obviously the tokens of AI went to the roof. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention everything that we're saying here is our own opinions. You have to do your own research. This is not financial advice. Very important. So going back to the question, Irina, do you think this year can be a year for all the AI projects? And how you connected with law and the market right now?
I absolutely love ChatGPT. I absolutely love all these AI products out there. I have actually just before I flew to Dubai. When was it? 3 weeks ago? Or 2 weeks ago? The time is a blur because I'm actually coming here. I was running from a meeting. Then I ran to another meeting. It's like a blur. So just before flying to Dubai for Satoshi Roundtable, which is an amazing event with OGs coming together from all over the world. Oh, that's another point. 300 OGs gathered for Satoshi Roundtable in Dubai. They did
Yeah.
not gather anywhere else. They gathered in Dubai. So people from all over the world. Adam Back, co-founder of Ethereum, CEO of Kraken, just to name like top names. Their excellencies from each emirate, crown princes, etc., all gathered here in Dubai for a few days to network. CZ was there. He spent every day he spent with us. There's a lot of networking, a lot of really great opportunities. So yes, this has happened here in Dubai. This didn't happen, in another place, which was great. Talking about Dubai again, sorry. Back to your questions. So just before traveling to Dubai to attend the Satoshi Roundtable, I assembled a team to work to incorporate ChatGPT and other tools into my law practice, because I've been a lawyer for 20 years and the questions are the same, the problems are the same. So my team is now training the AI algorithms to answer questions. So imagine you go online and you ask a question and you get an answer from a lawyer with 20 years of experience and in this industry from 2016, but this answer is given to you automatically by an AI algorithm. That would be really great, right? I don't need to charge you. I don't need to sort of spend my time on small questions. I can actually think on bigger things. I can work on bigger things like lobbying governments for smart laws. That would be a much more useful time rather than dealing with maybe admin tasks. Also, the team is looking how to automate all the admin tasks, because unfortunately, being a regulated entity, there's a lot of admin tasks we have to comply. The onboarding of the clients, KYC, AML, all of that. So I'm a huge fan, absolutely huge fan. I think the AI will make a lot of people obsolete, unfortunately, especially in admin jobs, in manufacturing jobs. But also, it's a fine line as well. It could be very dangerous, right? Because the ChatGPT, for example, is worked by more or less public companies, but you do not know what sort of AI China is working on. You do not know what sort of AI Russia is working on, or North Korea, or some other, not very honest, good people, right? And we have a lot of not very honest, good people, unfortunately, in this world. So I think AI can be dangerous. And Elon Musk, for example, he expressed a lot of concern, and he calls for AI to be regulated. I'm not a fan of calling for regulations. I'm a fan of open markets. I'm a fan of business. I'm a fan of, let the open markets decide who stays and who doesn't stay in the industry. But yeah, a lot of really much smarter people than me and than all of us put together. Elon Musk, he's calling for AI to be regulated, and he's calling it a dangerous tool. So so let's see, maybe in a few years we will all be serving AI overlords, and there will be, the Matrix style feeding AI machines. Hopefully not, but I like dystopian movies. Terminator was my dystopian movie I watched when I was a kid. I'm still shocked and traumatized. I do not know how my parents let me watch that. So so yes, maybe we will have something this bad, or maybe we will have a utopia where we all
Happy.
paint and happy and tan on the beach while AI is doing all the work for us. But
Who knows?
humanity, yeah, but humanity are known to screw things up very badly. So let's hope we don't do it this time. But I'm a big fan. I'm incorporating AI into my law practice because it will make things so much cheaper for the end user. It will make things so much quicker, and it will make me work less. And I'm all about for working less. So I think it's good. Win-win.
Amazing, Irina. So I have three questions, very quick. Where can people find you before we log out? Where can people find you on Twitter, on LinkedIn? What is your handle?
Twitter, very easy to find me, Irina Heaver. I have a blue tick. Just do not follow impersonators and scammers. There's like 20 Irina Heavers on Instagram. There's like 20 Irina Heavers on Facebook and other social media. I will never ask you for money. That's another thing you have to be careful about. Public people are being impersonated. Twitter, Irina Heaver, the one with the blue tick. Message me, reach out. Very easy to find my website on Google, my law firm. Reach out. I'm very happy to hear from entrepreneurs. I'm very happy always hear from investors. If you have questions about Dubai, you want to come here, ahlan wa sahlan, as we say. Everybody's welcome.
Amazing. And the second question is, what is your favorite animal?
Cats. I love
Cats.
cats.
Okay.
But the big cats, the tigers and the leopards. I think they're so
Tigers.
tigers. I think lions. I think they're so gracious, and I think they're so beautiful, and I love how they preserve their energy. They hunt and
Yeah,
then they sleep for a week. I think
I
this is
like
very
that.
clever.
My favorite one, Irina, is the white tiger. I think that's my favorite one. And the reason why I'm asking you this is because we're going to give you an NFT based on your favorite animal, and we're
Oh,
going to do an event, and you have to give us back the NFT, and we're going to auction this NFT, and
so
the
you give
money
it to
that
me and then I give it back?
yeah, to give it back, and then the money that we put together, it will be for animal welfare. So we have
Oh,
giving back to the
oh,
planet something that
fair enough.
they're giving us. And the very last question, and before we go, thank you so much, Irina. It has been amazing having you here. I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
sure I have you for a second round when in Dubai in one of the conference that we're going to be. But yeah, it's time to say goodbye. Is there any advice or suggestion you would like to give to somebody that is just getting started in crypto today?
Absolutely. Get educated, learn, absorb the knowledge, follow you on your social media to learn as much as possible. Learn. Invest time in educating yourself. Do not invest your money in putting in some shitcoin. Invest in yourself first, because if you invest in yourself and if you invest in your education and your knowledge, this will stay with you irrespective. Nobody can rug pull you, nobody can steal it from you. And the more you invest, the more time, effort, and money you invest in your knowledge, the better you will be in the long term, because it's all about the knowledge. We're living in a knowledge economy now. It doesn't so what you know actually makes you as a person, I believe.
Amazing. Irina, thank you so much indeed. And thank you so much for watching and listening to Crypto G's. And guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao.